Hey, 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 good morning, sports fans. It's Sunday morning. NFL is kicking off, in most games, anyways. We do got a cancellation or a postponement, and you are watching Bettor Center Live. This is Louis Diamond. I am joined today from my Las Vegas handicapping studio with Tony Gullidge, who's a man that has been pretty much on fire here with that most interesting play of the day. And I'd say you'd want to stick around because he's got some winners for you. Welcome this morning, Tony Gullidge. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Lou. This last weekend, I don't think we missed a pick. Let's see if we can do it this Sunday, too.
Tony, you've been on fire with this most interesting play of the day. Tell us a little bit about the last, 15 plays, 15 games we gave out here?
Prior to yesterday was not my best performance, but yeah, we're looking about 11-4-1, previous 16 plays. So definitely giving out some good information on this TV show.
All right. 11-4-1, gentlemen. Tony has given it to you, and ladies, excuse me. But Tony has been giving you these winners right here every day on Bettor Center. So please subscribe at YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching us right now, so you can get Tony's winners every day, because this is what we do. You can also get my plays every day, and not all of them, but you get certainly some free picks, but more importantly, we're going to teach you some of the nuances of gambling and some of the things that we look for before we pull the trigger on these games. So and I'm going to go over the whole schedule here today, guys. So stick around. Every single game we're going to talk about. So the first one is going to be the Panthers, and they are at the Falcons. Falcons opened up a 3.5-point favorite, but nobody wants to have much to do with these Falcons. They're down to -2 or 2.5. The total is 54. It opened up at 55, so slight touch on the under. Panthers getting some love here right now. Obviously, nobody wants to back Atlanta. What are your thoughts on the game today, Tony?
Well, as Doc Holliday said to Johnny Ringo in the movie Tombstone, I'll be your Huckleberry. Give me Atlanta today. It's just a terrible handicapping spot for Carolina Panthers. 2-2 now, but that spot last week, the straight up home win underdog against Arizona. Atlanta, what more needs to be said, right? So at a certain point when you get these teams, it can't get any lower. You look around the league at the teams that haven't won many, or in this case, any games, and I like to find the probable spots for these teams to get on the board and get a win. For me, this division game sets up well for Atlanta. And I'm going to the proverbial pinch the nose, but I will take Atlanta -2.5 against the Carolina Panthers today.
You know what, Tony, I'm going to agree with you on this one all day long. Carolina's been playing well. They've been playing feisty, better than expected. But Atlanta is truly, truly backed up against the wall. The big loss Monday night, which was expected. But if this team has any pride whatsoever, has anything in their pocket, this is the time. And I think they do. They have the talent. They have coaching issues, undoubtedly, from time management to I don't know. They got issues. And this team is definitely struggling, but you got to plug your nose here. Atlanta's got to be the only way to play this game at -2. So I will probably mess with it on a teaser, but because you know me, teaser, and play Sunday night, Thursday night, teaser. Panthers are 0-5. The last 5 meetings in Atlanta, last 5 versus each other. The home team 11-1 against the spread. The under 10-3-1 the last 14 meetings. So I will agree with you here, Tony. Let's plug our nose and get a little bit of action on the Falcons today. Next game on our schedule is going to be the Raiders and the Chiefs. The Chiefs open up 11.5-point favorite. The game is still pretty much between 11 and 12, depending on where your book is at. The total is down to 54.5 from the 59. So they're playing some under here. And I could kind of see why, because if you look at the history of these two teams, the under has been on the money. 22-8 to the under their last 30 games, 13-3 to the under at Kansas City. The Raiders, they struggle against Kansas City, and most recently as well. 4 straight covers for KC at home and 1 cover for the Raiders the last 5 games. Gave you some numbers on the game you got. What do you think outside the numbers there, Tony?
Well, this was the last game I scratched off my list. I'll go through, make the potential plays that I like, and the Chiefs was the last one I scratched off. I really want to take Kansas City here, but I was able to find enough reasons not to take them. So I actually passed this game, but the numbers you gave kind of fed into why I was leaning that way, but I ultimately found other games I liked better. But Kansas City is the lean here.
Okay. Yeah, Kansas City seems to be the only way you can play, but way too many points. Kansas City has owned them, though, so I will not be touching the Raiders in this play. I feel like there's too many points. The under has the history. Tough time to bet the unders in the NFL, so it is a tough game. I don't even want to tease it. You know, that's kind of crazy for me. I don't even want to tease
It's got a funny
the Chiefs.
smell to it. It's got a little funny smell to it, like too easy, a little too easy to take Kansas City here.
It kind of is, because I don't know how outside of the divisional game and these guys match up so often, I just don't see who can hang with this team at all. So we'll not be touching the game. I'll be passing on it myself, and I don't even see a teaser play in this one. So let's move right down to the next game on our schedule, which was the Broncos and the Patriots. In case you don't know, that game has been postponed till next week due to the COVID concerns. So we'll worry about that one next week. Our next game on the schedule then will be the Rams, and they are at the Redskins. The Rams, well, they got some traveling miles. They got some points coming. Free flights for the Rams. They open up at a 9.5-point favorite. It's been bet down to as low as 7.5 right now. The total goes from 46 down to 45, a little touch on the under. Redskins, they are starting Kyle Allen, who was a quarterback for Carolina under Ron Rivera, who had enough of Haskins, and we picked that off last week. Unfortunately, most people got the push on betting against him. Now, Rivera yanked him, so we don't have that ultimate fade. So is there any life in this Redskins team here today under Kyle Allen? Tony, any thoughts?
Man, Ron Rivera signed up on a hell train, right? I mean, the franchise is just an absolute dumpster fire. Gosh, handicapping wise today, what do you say here? Rams are nothing. I really can't back the Redskins at this point. Although I will say changing quarterbacks sometimes changes the attitude of a team. But Kyle Allen, he started well with the Panthers, got some wins, but then hit that rookie wall and just fell completely apart by the end of the season. Most of us Panthers fans were glad that Ron took him with him. So good luck with Kyle Allen starting for you today, Ron.
All right. Yeah, I think Ron's going to need a lot of luck over there. The Rams, I mean, the only thing he has going for him, and the Rams are in their 3rd East Coast game. And what is this, week 5? So,
yeah, they've been living on the East Coast. They've been on the East Coast. Damn near, it seems like they're NFC East, it seems like, right? That their schedule so far. Right. The Rams, their offense does, after what I watched last week against the Giants, I'm not sure what. I think it's the film, right? McVay, his first couple years, everything he did worked. And then when Belichick shut them down in that Super Bowl, it seems like since that game, it's been more of a struggle for the Rams. And I'm just not sure that that exact scheme, he's going to have to go to the drawing board and create something different to get teams off of what he likes to do.
All right. So, yeah, I can see the Rams, though, today in a teaser mode. They do have a big divisional game next week against San Fran, so they'll probably be looking ahead, looking to finally get back home. So it'd be tough to lay the points here, but I would say probably the teaser role, because Washington, Kyle Allen, he's going to have to come out and do something spectacular, I think, today. which, could very well happen. So a little risky on that play. All right, next game on our schedule. The Jaguars are at the Texans. And the Texans, looks like J.J. Watt got his dream, getting rid of Bill O'Brien. And as you heard here first, he was the first NFL coach to be fired. And yours truly predicted that in the preseason. So expected that to happen. Now, Romeo Crennel comes in, coached the Browns, coached the Chiefs. Not the very successful campaigns, but I think he had one nice successful campaign with the Chiefs. But I don't think he's going to be the answer as well, but he's a defensive-minded coach that has, I think, the 30th or 28th defense in the league. So Texans, 5.5. Opened up at 7, went down to 5.5. Too many points here for the Texans, Tony, out of the gate, laying that wood against the Jaguars.
Yeah, actually, I actually wrote up a few paragraphs about this. I'll just read what I wrote because I don't think I can put it any better. Clearly, with Bill O'Brien now out of the way, it would seem it's much more likely to lift a team littered with talent to begin producing on the field. Romeo Crennel will step in to steer the ship. And while he certainly is not an elite level head guy, he is the kind of coach that players like, and I can see the team responding well to him taking over. When you're 0-4, you really can't go much lower. And when you take a glance at the early schedule, they played the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers. I didn't really expect them to be any better than 2-2 to begin with. So, they're sitting at 0-4. And with that loss to the Vikings, I think that just let everybody know it's time for a change. O'Brien's gone. Tim Kelly will be calling the plays. I look for the offense to open up some, fresh look. Defense was the question mark. They've been getting run all over. The run defense has been horrid. But much like last week, I'm finding my equivalent of the Washington Generals when we look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars, they remind me of the chubby chick in college that liked to hang around. She may not be that pretty to look at, but she services you well and knows how to make a mean French toast in the morning. Everyone gets their turn with her. And this week, I believe it'll be the Houston Texans that lays in bed with a smile waiting for their breakfast. I like Houston in this game, and I like it quite a lot. That's one of my better plays of the day, the Houston Texans.
Well, I guess that would be the Texans French toast in the morning is what you're saying.
Exactly.
So, quite the picture you painted there, Mr. Picasso with the tongue over there. All right. So you're definitely, you believe this is the spot for the Texans. I'm worried laying the points with the Texans. But if it was the coach that was the cancer, you'll see the recovery today. They got the right team for it.
Right. I was just throwing in that I think Jacksonville now is regressing to what we thought they would be, right? They came out of the gates and they got a little props. They beat the Colts that first game. Now it seems like it's starting to come back down to earth. Minshew is starting to get to where we think Minshew should be. And I just think this is the perfect spot, like last week, to get that first win. Cincinnati needed that win. Who came to town? Jacksonville. They get the win. Where does Jacksonville travel next? To Houston, a team even more desperate for a win. Like I say, for me, this is the perfect spot. Coach is gone. The chains are unleashed. Houston, I think, should have a pretty big day today. That's just how I'm reading this.
All right. So I'll give you a number that might crush you a little bit. The Jags are 6-2-1. Yeah, their last 9 games in Houston. I don't know how much that crushes you. I don't know how much worthy that number is here today. The road team has been successful in the series, 13-4-1. The under, 4 straight unders, 4 out of 5 in Houston. All right, that being said, let's take a quick little commercial break, and we'll be right back with the rest of today's NFL action on Bettor Center Live.
Brad Stein here, live from Las Vegas. Join us daily for Bettor Center Live with our professional handicappers, where you get sports information you can bet on. Stop gambling, start winning. Bettor Center Live.
All right, sports fans, we are back here live in our Las Vegas handicapping studios. This is Louis Diamond, joined with Tony Gullidge, going over all the NFL action here today. And let's get down to the next game on our schedule. we're going with my boy Kyler Murray. Disappointed me back-to-back weeks. Will I be going back on him today? I'll let you know here in a second. But the Cardinals open up 8.5-point favorite. They're down to 7.5. So not too much love for the Cardinals after those last two games. Total opens up at 46. Now it's 47.5. A little touch on the over. Cardinals and Jets, Tony. You see anything here?
Flacco getting the reins for the Jets today. I love to find these spots for these terrible teams. 0-4 Jets, to me, to the eye test, are probably the worst team in the league. They're really down there. These are bottom dwellers. Arizona desperately need of a win. That 7. What did I get it at? So I got it at 7.5. Good Lord. I took the Jets here. I see scenarios where the Cardinals get the win, but Murray, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions now. His ratings come back down. He's not down into the Sam Darnold range of dumpsterdom, but he certainly hasn't been as sharp the past couple weeks. Again, what the Panthers did, I'm sure is going to be followed by the Jets today, and it worked very well for the Panthers. They created a little pocket around the pocket to keep him in, and then they put a spy to follow Murray so he couldn't escape. They basically filled the gap so he couldn't escape the pocket. Worked real well for Carolina. Expect more teams to do something very similar. Although I think the Cardinals can get this win, I play the Jets in the points.
Taking the points going against my man Kyler. I can't blame you at this stage after back-to-back games like that, but I will certainly be teasing Kyler down today. Got to get the win here today. If you can't knock out the Jets, man, oh man, you have totally fooled me, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I don't think that's the case. I think you just had a couple bad games. You got caught off guard, and I think you'll bounce back here today.
You got to be careful for Flacco. This is like a job edition. Yeah,
that's
Flacco
true too. Absolutely,
he's playing for a job. He's playing to go get a job somewhere. It might not be in New York, but he's trying to show he still has enough game left to get picked up somewhere else. So that is something to also consider today.
And I'll just say this: as we're talking right now, the line has gone down to a solid 7. So 7.5s are gone. If you like the Jets, you better get on now. Best I can tell you with that. Okay, guess what? Tony Cusomano is somewhere. I don't know. I'm going to find out with you. Tony, where the hell are you?
Thank you, Bettor Center. Tony C. here, your man on the street, coming to you from the City of the Angels, SoFi Stadium, as you can see in the backdrop there. Home of the Los Angeles Rams, where this Sunday they take on the Washington Redskins, a Redskins team that has lost 3 straight games by double digits. So what happens when you lose 3 straight games by double digits, Bettor Center? I'm going to tell you what you do. Head coach Ron Rivera of the Washington Redskins has benched Dwayne Haskins. Why? Well, he's going to move forward with quarterback Kyle Allen, which, if you remember Kyle Allen in 13 starts, he did very well last year with the then Carolina Panthers and then head coach of the Carolina Panthers, Ron Rivera. So coming into this game, Washington, hasn't had much offense generated. Their last 3 games, they've only managed 17, 20, and 15 points. Hence, Ron Rivera made the decision again to sit Haskins. And believe it or not, he's going to be the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart now, because the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart is 36-year-old Alex Smith, who obviously has missed time with a broken leg. So Rams at the Redskins is what we have. How are we looking as far as the visitors go? Road chalk, Los Angeles Rams. How do they look? They're looking even better on the running game, as Coach Sean McVay states Cam Akers will be back after missing 2 weeks with the sore rib cage. I mean, the Rams are looking pretty good. They're a well-oiled machine. They are 3-1. They've beaten 3 of their 4 opponents in the NFC East, so they're looking to go 4-0 against the NFC East this year. And boy, I'll tell you, that would really look good for them to go into San Francisco next week with a 4-1 record. So we'll see what happens here today here Sunday with the Redskins and the Rams. Aside from that, I'm going to get your guys' feedback here. Redskins we all know it's kind of a rebuilding couple of years for them with new head coach Ron Rivera. And all the drama that they've had the past couple of years with quarterbacks, obviously, with Alex Smith going down, and they've had Colt McCoy. I mean, they've had a slew of quarterbacks, and then they went with their number one pick last year with Haskins. He's not getting the job done offensively, so now we're going to see Kyle Allen, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Goff and Allen in Washington. Rams -7, over and under 46.5. Do we lay the chalk or don't we here? I kind of like Washington +7. I think that Kyle Allen, even though he hasn't started at all this year, I think that he understands Ron Rivera and Ron Rivera's system. They obviously work together at Carolina. So I think taking the 7 points here with the Redskins is a safe play. But what does everyone back at Bettor Centers think at the studio there? I'm going to throw it back to you guys. Rams at the Redskins. Tell me what you think, guys. Take it away from Los Angeles, California. Back to the studio.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Tony, he canned that a couple days ago, so we probably should have put that with our Redskins game, but we didn't. You kind of got our opinion on the game, and we think that Ron Rivera has his work cut out for him pretty well today, but once again, the Rams traveling and a big divisional game next week. So thank you, Tony. Appreciate you traveling around the country for us. Maybe we'll get you somewhere else by the end of the show. We'll see you. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. We got the Eagles are playing the Steelers. Steelers 7-point favorite opener up to 8.5. So Big Ben getting a little love out there on the betting market. 46 is the total. Bet down to 44. Eagles, big upset last week. Going back home. Steelers have the opportunity to take advantage of a team that partied hard after a big win. What do you think, Tony? Anything on this one?
Well, I ended up falling on the Eagles here. Classic scenario. I don't know how many times we've discussed this. Pittsburgh Steelers as a favorite. I do believe they've covered once and not covered twice while winning all three games. And a couple of those were classic Steeler type games where they squeak in the win but don't cover a number. Clearly can see that happening here today. But I think Philly definitely is going to give them something. I just don't expect Pittsburgh. I'm hearing people think that they're just going to walk all over the Eagles. I'm not sure why. I think the Eagles' defense is not terrible, at least enough to keep them in the game. And the Steelers just find a way to keep the opponents close. It's happened so many times. Why, I'm not even going to risk it here. Just give me the points. I'll try Philadelphia. And if the Steelers cover, well, you got me one time. But I'm willing to take that risk. Eagles here from me, Luke.
All right, we got a little Eagle love from Tony. You know what? I expected the Eagles to be bad this year. They really are bad. It was a spot for them. They played their game of the season. I definitely cannot back them, but I will not lay these points with the Steelers. I may tease them down a little bit for the win at home. All right, next game on the schedule, Joe Burrow of the Bengals gets his first win last week, but now he's facing the Baltimore Ravens, and Cincinnati has a history of hanging with the Ravens. Now under Burrow, will they continue that history? Is this defense going to be able to keep Burrow in this game here today, Tony?
Well, this is I like the setup. This is where I kind of get that blend and mesh of my little handicapping things that I like to look at. For me, this is a play on Baltimore. Lay the points. Like you said, Burrow, first win at home. Exciting. Everybody's pumped up. Meanwhile, the Ravens they ground out the football team from Washington, gave up the cheap touchdown for the push. I think Baltimore's defense is going to be what gives Burrow the problems here. That offensive line is not that great. And when they get this pass rush on him, I think he's going to understand a higher level of NFL football. He's going to have a much better respect for the game after the day. I think the young kid gets a lesson, and I think Baltimore gets the job done and covers the spread today.
All right, so 11.5 and 12 right now. Ravens were a 13-point favorite, so a little love on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And that's all I can offer, just a little love on Joe Burrow and the Bengals here today. I definitely can offer some love for them on the teaser. But damn, that Ravens offense started to get a little clicking, and they can probably exploit this Bengals defense. But Bengals could be riding a little high. I don't think that they're going to take Joe Burrow's win and celebrate too hard. I think they're going to try to compound the excitement that they've gotten off that win. So I don't think they're going to be in an overconfident mode. I think that they may keep this game just close enough so you can cover the number. All right, next game on the schedule, we got the Miami Dolphins, and they are traveling to the West Coast to the team that got beat up on Sunday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers. Are they going to rebound? This is usually a spot for something like that. But you know what? The Dolphins, Fitzpatrick, he's not ready to go quietly into the sunset, and he's actually not looking too bad. Is he going to be able to pull something off against his defense tonight? What do you think, Tony?
Fitzpatrick is either hit or miss. That's what I call this guy. He's depends on what side of the bed he wakes up on. He's either going to give you 4 second half touchdowns to rally for a win, or he's going to throw 4 picks in the first half and the game is over. In this spot for me, handicapping wise, is pretty tough. I eventually laid off. I can make good cases for either team, but if you're going to get me to lean, I'm going to lean to the Dolphins, but I could not take them in this spot today. I think them traveling way out to the West Coast against a better defense is just not – I just don't think it's a great spot for them for my money, so I pass. I know you got some good action. What do you got, Lou?
Well, you know what? This only looks like a teaser to me. I'm worried about – I like Miami plus the points, to be honest with you. I think they're going to figure out a way to hang in this game. I don't like going against a team that lost that Sunday night game and coming back home for the opportunity to seek some revenge. But, the 49ers, they got a big divisional game next week against the Rams. How meaningful is this AFC matchup? I think they may be a little asleep at the wheel, expecting that they're going to get their win because they had their loss. Unless they come out and play real hard, I don't think they're going to get it. They're going to get that cover. So I got to like the Dolphins a little bit here. I got to like them on the teaser, obviously a lot more. But I wouldn't mind a little teaser action with the Niners as well. One of those games that can certainly land on the teaser, both sides, I think. All right, next game on the schedule, the hapless Cowboy defense. Are they going to be able to keep anything in check? A lot of points are scored in them Dolphin and them Cowboy games. Total's 11. They're playing the Giants at home. I mean, the total, the Cowboys are 11. The total is 53. Opened up at 11, but everybody's on them Giants and seem to like to bet against the Cowboys right now. Down to 7.5, total 52.5. Tony, what do you got on this one?
This will get the moniker of dumpster fire game of the week for me. This is pretty much as low as they can go. NFC least, battling for first with nobody having won a game. Literally you win a game here and you're back into the division race. That's how terrible this division is. For me, I'm going to take Dallas here, guys. Giants offensively, I just wonder, even with a terrible Dallas defense, will Jones and this offense be able to produce? They kicked a few field goals against the Rams, 17-9. They snuck in and covered a spread against the Rams. I think Dallas has enough. There's just so much talent on this team. It's hard to believe they're so bad. As long as, and this is the question with Dallas for like 2 or 3 weeks now, can they not fumble the ball 6 times? The turnovers, just giving games away. I think one of these games they're going to not turn the ball over, and that's all it's going to take for them to get a win. Just don't turn it over and give your opposition free points. Last week against the Cleveland Browns, could they have looked any worse? I think that was rock bottom, the 49 points, the way they were giving up those points to the Browns. I just think your spot here is for Dallas. Not my higher level play, but in your office pool, I would take Dallas to get the cover here against a terrible Giants team today.
All right. Well, I can see the Cowboys. They're changing the dictionary right now because there is no D in Dallas. It's simple as that. And Giants go out there and put up 24 points or more today, that'll tell you exactly what this Dallas team has. The over has hit 8 out of the last 10 for the Cowboys in the NFC, 8 out of 10 in the NFC East, and 4 out of 5 as a home favorite, 5-1 on the turf. The over has just been cashing in these Dallas games. You didn't think the Giants would be an over team with the inept offense that they've really kind of have, but 6-2 to the over versus the NFC East, 5-2 to the over as an underdog, 9-4 during Week 5, and this head-to-head matchup, 15 of the last 22 have gone over, while 8 out of the last 11 in Dallas have gone over. So take the D out of Dallas. It is now Alice is the over. Alice over today is your money, in my opinion, on this game. All right, next game. I just made that joke. Alice. I'm so funny. All right, Indianapolis. They're at Cleveland. This Indianapolis defense is not the Dallas defense. Cleveland puts up all them points this week. Are they going to be able to put up points against this Indianapolis defense, Tony?
Love the spot for the Colts. Mention it. Defense. Colts, to my eye, are one of the best defenses in the league. Man, did they look good against the Bears.
They're number one right now.
Yeah, I can see why, because that pass rush, man, it's a stout front. Not a whole lot, even the running game. They're making the tackles right at the line of scrimmage. There's not really any holes for these guys to squeeze through. You look at Cleveland. I noted that the first game they played a reasonable defense. They played the Ravens, got crushed 38-6. But then you looked at their next opponents. It was the Bengals. It was the Redskins, or football team, and then Dallas. So they have not really been confronted with a defense since their first game, which they got crushed. Even though they're at home today, I think a good defense really is going to hamper Cleveland's efforts today. I'm going to take the Colts in this one to go on the road and get a win at Cleveland.
Well, I'm going to be a little cautious a little more cautious than you. I do like the Colts here, but I can't be all over it because there's a potential that this Cleveland running game can really run against this Indianapolis defense. So you got the number one rushing offense versus the number one the number one defense in the league. I'm not sure if Indianapolis is number one in rushing or number 4. I forgot which one. I think it's number 1 in defense. But I think they're going to be posed. They're going to face their first real rushing attack. I know Chubb's hurt, but Kareem Hunt has done a spectacular job. And last week, forgot that kid's running back. Was it Dernis Johnson? Did a pretty decent job last week filling in for Chubb. So I think they got their hands full a little week. I think the line is kind of right. It's a tough play. But with Cleveland scoring so many points last week, I got to give a little love to the under here in this scenario. I think you got a tough call either way. I think Indianapolis is certainly I wouldn't say certainly, but I think Indianapolis is the better team. But they haven't faced this type of running game. So I'm a little cautious on that today. Okay, our next game on the schedule will face our big Sunday night matchup, and it's our last game on the schedule, and that's going to have the Vikings at the Seahawks. Now, Russell Wilson in nationally televised games against the spread, 22-10. He gets up for these games. I mean, he's been up all season long, but the defense for the Seahawks are giving up 400 yards a game. What's going to happen here today, Tony? Vikings, Seahawks went from 9 down to -6.5 right now. So they're playing the Vikings. The total 58 down to 56. They're playing it under. Doesn't look right to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I keep hearing that it's going to be the week for Seattle not to cover. I've been kind of riding this train. I do like momentum. When you look at Seattle, yes, the defense is terrible, but they've scored no less than 31 points in any of their 4 wins. Until somebody can show me that they can slow this team down, or at least get ahead of them and put some pressure on them, something to change the pace of play. I'm just not used to seeing Seattle play this pace to where they're really pushing. I'm used to them grinding and trying to win close, low-scoring games in the last couple of minutes. It's almost like a change in philosophy, like they're trying to catch people in a different mode. I like what I see from Seattle, and when you go move it under a touchdown against a Vikings team that's terrible defensively, suspect as hell, actually. So for me, I'm just going to keep rolling with what's been working for me in my service. I'm going to take Seattle in this spot.
All right. I think Seattle is probably the only way to roll, but I think Cousins may have his game today. This is his spot. This is a chance. So I don't want to go against Russell at all, especially in a primetime game when those kind of numbers, 66% of his games he covers on the primetime. I don't want to go against that, against this Vikings team. But I'll tell you what I want to do is I want to give you my most interesting play because it's involved in this game. And it's going to be the over. And it's going to be a teaser. Now, obviously, I think you could bet the over anyways because, I don't see how this game stays under the number. But I think if you tease that with the Giants game over today, Cowboys over, Seahawks over, put it in a two-team teaser, cash the ticket. You could probably bet them both straight up and maybe make a little extra money there as well. So that's my most interesting play today. Tony, close us out. Give me an interesting play and then tell everybody how they can get a hold of you so they can get more information from you in the future.
Yeah, just quickly note that while I give out a lot of the plays here for you guys, what I don't do here is structure the money management, tell you how to bet each play in relation to the others. For that kind of more in-depth analysis and strategy gambling-wise, head on over, join the inner circle at thegreatwhitecapper.com where I'll give you the information. Be glad to discuss. I try to tailor it specifically to each individual player. Nobody is exactly the same. So I try to structure something specifically for each of my clients to give them the best advantage and teach them to be better gamblers themselves. And with that said, my most interesting play, I'm going to do the little money line parlay again. It worked last week. We crushed it last Sunday. This week, we're going to do a 4-team. We're going to kind of mix and match here. I'm going to put Baltimore laying the points on it, and then we're going to do 3 money lines right behind it. We're going to go Atlanta, we're going to go Houston, and we're going to go the Cowboys. So Baltimore lay the points and add 3 money line, Atlanta, Houston, and Dallas behind it. That's going to be my most interesting play. And I'm just hoping we can really bang these people out like we did last week and cash some tickets, Lou. Looks like a good week to me. Though. You feeling those vibes like I am, Lou?
I'm feeling those vibes. I like you going to these money line parlays. As you know, I'm a huge fan of these parlays. At the end of the day, you're just trying to take the gamble out of gambling. So take that high percentage money line favorite and bring them all the way down. I mean, sure, it's 50-50 when the point spread is there, but if you bring that favorite all the way down just to win that game, now you're looking in maybe a 95% scenario win with that team, and you'll tie them up with another one and then another one. Now, all big favorites, they are not guaranteed to win outright, guys. You'll learn that as you try this, okay? But when you analyze the games and you say, you know what, it's the lock. You know the lock's never the lock, but you know the lock when you see the lock. You know what I mean. So you got to look for that. So I definitely like your money line parlays there, Tony. And I want to let everybody know next week we're going to have that shopping cart ready. A lot of people put the cart before the horse. Well, we got the horse running right now. You're getting a lot of winners from us, but the shopping cart's coming. Well, we're going to get you a lot of extra plays, minimal cost, keep the price down for you so you can get yourself plenty of action and keep yourself in the winner's circle all season long. And the best way to do that is watching us here on Bettor Center Live. We'll be back tomorrow with the regular cast at 9 a.m. Pacific time with Brad Stein hosting. And join us every day. Please subscribe. So this is Louis Diamond. Appreciate you joining us here today on Bettor Center Live. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time at bettorcenter.com.